Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of AYCH in the year 2020. I'm your host today, Patrick, and joining me today are my four special co-hosts.
Frank. It's Justin back here on AYCH.
It's Jellicle Jonathan.
Oh, God. Ooh.
It's Kitty Cat Cody.
I already regret everything that led me to today.
Me too.
And in order to start the year off on the right foot or the right paw,
Waka waka.
we're going to talk about a very special movie. A movie so special that we had to brand an entirely new show to talk about it. This is Unessential Viewing, where your favorite friends at AYCH talk about the worst movies of the year. You heard us get into a little bit of it at our year-end special, but we're going to take a little deep dive and explain what exactly was the phantasmagoric, mind-melting, psychedelic vision that was Cats.
More thought was put into your descriptions than went into that entire movie.
Well, I appreciate the thought, Jim.
Yeah.
So, just going in, what was everybody's impression going in, and how it actually matched the final product? Was it worse or better? What was it?
Much worse. I specifically remember driving up, and we talked a little bit about this on our year-end thing, but I remember specifically driving up to the theater, and it suddenly hit me out of fucking nowhere. Oh, this is actually a musical. I really hate musicals on movie. I don't like film. I don't like watching musicals on the big screen. And so I had already just been like, fuck, and like it just hit me. It wasn't like I prepared myself. I was like, I'm prepared. I'm prepared for Cats. I'm prepared for this musical. No, that's not what happened with me. I found out that this was a musical 5 minutes before going into the goddamn theater. And to say the least, I hated every minute of it. I absolutely fucking hated this movie.
Okay, Cats was like one of the longest running Broadway musicals in history. How are you unaware that it was a musical
it's not
going
that I
into
was
this?
unaware. It's just like I don't dip my toes into the musical world very often. And it's not that I wasn't aware that it was. I just didn't want it to be.
You were hoping that somewhere on the way there was going to be some sort of Mandela effect. And
Yeah.
Cats wasn't a musical anymore.
It's like going to a pool and then like being like shot when it's full of water, though.
I mean, sure, but like not really, because I honestly, even if this wasn't a musical, there was no saving this. It would have just been people.
No, this was a shit show from
bad.
intro to end.
This is not good.
Jonathan loved it.
Oh yeah, it's the second best movie of the year. No, I like everyone else.
Okay, I'm just curious. Has anybody seen like any version of Cats before going to the movie? You have.
I grew up on like the taping of the '98 run.
I remember those infomercials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember you could Time Life or something. You could order the.
Gonna be honest with you, for some odd reason, Cats and 9/11 are really tied close in my memory bank, and
Well, that's not a sentence I expected to hear.
and so I got Rudy Giuliani up there, and Cats and 9/11.
Wow,
My brain, it's all connected.
That sounds like your brain is a clusterfuck.
Have you been recently concussed?
Cats has concussed me. I felt.
Or maybe it's just recorded that some of the worst, tragedies on American soil for you.
It's all combined.
9/11, then having to go see Cats.
Pearl Harbor, 9/11,
Cats.
Honestly, yeah. I would have much rather sat through. I don't know. I would have. There's not a worse movie I don't think I've ever seen, except for Eraserhead, and we can get in that. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah, well, I mean, David Lynch has some serious problems.
He has some serious problems, but he's also like, this will get him. This will make him think.
The original edgelord.
Man, David Lynch can go to hell.
I feel like that out of everybody.
Talk about Eraserhead.
Nope, this is about Cats.
God damn it!
Look, it is currently, just so the listeners know, it is 12:30 at night. I've been at work. I was at work for 12 hours, starting at 7 o'clock. I still went to see this fucking movie. Now I'm at your apartment or the AYCH headquarters to talk about this movie. And you know what? I feel like out of everyone who went to see it, I enjoyed myself the most.
You think so?
I do, because I like musicals.
Yeah.
I really do, and I had never heard Cats. I thought about it, but I decided not to because it looks stupid, and it still looks stupid. I'm never gonna watch the fucking play. That's not gonna happen. But I really liked about half of those songs, and
You were alone in that, I think.
again. I'd heard Memory because everybody's heard
Yes, everybody's heard Memory.
just from School of Rock when Miranda Cosgrove recited it horribly. Like I liked a lot of those songs, and do you know what? Ian McKellen's bit was really, really good, and I will stand by that. The problems come from the horrible sexualized cat dancing, which would have been out of place on Broadway. And the horrible CGI, which would have been out of place on Dreamcast.
I wanted to pet him.
Okay, okay.
what if-
Speaking of that, Jonathan, you saw the regular production. How close was the dancing to the on stage to the movie?
To the I don't know, the movie, to me, the choreography was very unremarkable. And that the thing is, the whole point of Cats is the music and the dancing. I mean, it has no plot, and I think one of the biggest issues this adaptation has is it tries to give this fucking weird ass concept a story, and it's like you're missing the forest for the trees. I will say. Would you believe it if the stage play is actually like just a smidge bit hornier than the movie?
I would totally believe that. But here's my thing with that, and I've thought about this a bit in the previous 30 minutes since we've seen the movie. I've had time to digest this. And a lot of people, like, it's obvious when you say it out loud, but theater productions are much different than movie productions.
Yeah, very much so.
So what works on Broadway with the weird, slinky, horny dancing, that works because it's Broadway. You got 40-something people walking around in weird cat costumes pretending to hump each other. Whatever, that's fine. You're at a play.
Plus, it's a stage and not a close-up movie.
Right, that's the problem, is that these dance moves do not work nearly as well when you have a camera following some ballerina cat's ass the entire time.
On top of that, just editing in general, like, kind of... Because the whole point of, like, a lot of these, especially highly choreographed productions is basically one unbroken sequence, and all that magic is lost just by the sheer fact of editing, on top of like this entire movie CGI. So
bad.
And
Calling it CGI is pretty generous.
that is true.
This entire movie is PS1 graphics.
That is very true. And
although the hair level, like I said, I wanted to pet
the
them.
digital fur technology.
The digital fur technology.
Did you guys notice that the feet did not touch the ground properly at all when you could see them when they were dancing?
No,
like
they did
you
not.
could see the pixel breaks on the feet.
I tried to avoid.
That is why I said that I enjoyed the look of the cats that actually were wearing shoes, which were, the two
hip hop ones.
The two hip hop ones, and then when they were doing tap dancing, looked almost normal with shoes on, as opposed to the weird ass cat feet that sometimes did not touch the ground properly.
Yeah, those cat feet were weird, man.
Yeah.
And then they had like human hands with like fingernails and
that
shit
popped out.
that kind of
so weird.
Like fucking Wolverine.
Oh god, there's speaking of feet, there was one bit where I thought the main cat was going to stick her whole ass toe in in Jason Derulo's mouth. I was waiting for him to start sucking on some toes.
He seems like the type.
That particular dance sequence, I was going, well, they're going fetish right now, aren't they?
This is a fetish.
And that's the Jason Derulo's sequence.
I'm sorry, who?
The,
I don't understand your accent.
Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
I don't care. Jason Derulo can go to hell.
you should watch. You should just find the clip of the stage production, because that is like the horniest part of the whole thing, and it's like I remember after we saw it, me and Cody did. I went home and I'm like, okay, I got to like jog these memories of the times I had this dumbass movie on repeat. I was a weird kid. And
I owned the Lord of the Dance VHS. I also bought
Wait.
the DVD about a year ago. I like Michael Flattery. I like Irish dancing. Sue me. That's a fun stage production.
Wait, were those the ones that come on late at night? And they're
Yeah,
like,
Lord of the Dance was actually the sequel to Riverdance.
I don't know. Okay, these are. See, I don't know these things. I
think it's been well established on Justin's previous appearance that he's just weird.
It's okay, Justin. It's okay.
Anyway, that sequence is like really horny. Like he like grabs like one of the female cats by the back of the head, starts like thrusting. I'm like,
Oh, good.
yeah, I saw this. Like when I say I saw this as a kid, I'm talking like 4 or 5.
Yeah, no, sure, yeah.
and I literally went to my parents over Christmas, and I was like, why? Why did you think this was okay?
It's like, Mother, what does fellatio mean?
What does felinatio mean? I hate cats.
No,
Yeah.
that's the name of a character, I bet.
Felinatio?
Fucking probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Tugger
know
Winkers or
something
whatever.
else
Got to be one of them.
that really bothers me that I have to say, but it's 100% true? The editing in Cats was better than the editing in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, got him.
And I really liked Rise of Skywalker. Not as much as Last Jedi. Last Jedi is my favorite. Fucking fight me. But
I mean, you're not going to hear any complaints.
You're
here,
in,
love.
you're
Yeah.
in good company.
oh, this was for your listeners.
Well, they've all left after our last podcast.
You
Well,
like
don't worry,
Last
they'll see
Jedi?
my name and come running back. I'm entertaining. But no, the editing in Cats was better than Rise of Skywalker. The editing was my biggest problem with Rise of Skywalker.
If we're talking about, are we not talking? We're not talking about CGI, right?
No, the editing,
We're talking about the cutting.
pacing, the cuts.
The cutting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. That was the best part about Cats.
Yeah.
And Rebel Wilson. Can we talk about her?
I would rather not. I would
Oh
like her
my
to stop.
God!
Let me
Please,
tell you.
the room is split on Rebel Wilson.
No.
Rebel Wilson sucks. Rebel Wilson has always sucked. Rebel Wilson is a dead horse that should have been taken out
No.
and turned
She is a
into glue.
one-trick pony, and that was not her trick.
Let me tell you, she was the best part about that movie.
Nope.
No.
Her
No.
and James Corden.
You can just go fuck yourself. Fuck you. Fuck everything you stand for. Fuck this stupid show.
Hear me out. Listen.
No.
Her and James Corden had the best comedy chemistry since Adam Sandler and what's that fucking dude's name?
Rob Schneider.
No, Kevin.
Kevin
James?
Kevin
also
James.
terrible. Why do you like terrible things?
Look, no, let me.
Hey, Adam Sandler's in a good movie.
I feel a
Three-
turn coming on over here, me turning into Liz as I start to shit on everything that you love.
3 of the last 4 actors you named are awful
Okay.
and should stop.
I hate
Which
James
ones?
Corden. I think Rebel Wilson can add flavor to a flavorless film.
Yes.
Which is why she stars in a lot of flavorless films.
And it's a shit flavor.
not good
It's
movie.
the flavor of poop.
She is a bit part.
Literal poop.
She is.
She is a character actor that does the one character.
And it
That's
sucks.
all she does. And if they put too much of her in a film, it makes it
She
shit.
is the Nickelback of actors.
Okay, first of all, don't get me fucking started. Chad Kroger slightly looks like Nick Cage. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Only in the fact that we all bear resemblance to him, our Father and
Oh my
Creator.
God. Okay. Well,
Are
listen,
you really going to besmirch the patron saint of Shimmy's life?
are you saying that? Okay, we're not going to get into the Nickelback the conversation. We're saving that for the podcast. Write it down. Write it down. We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, just do one on all the band you like the most that other people hate the most. I've already got mine.
I don't.
Dave Matthews.
Oh my God!
I
What is
love
wrong
Dave
with
Matthews.
You?
You can go fuck yourself.
Go get a.
Dave Matthews Band is fantastic.
Dave Matthews Band is church music without the Jesus. That's what Dave Matthews.
Like, I don't know what church you go to, but I used to play church music. I promise you, it's so much worse than anything Dave Matthews has ever done.
Okay.
So cats.
What I was saying about James Corden and Rebel Wilson is that Rebel Wilson, first of all, I want to circle back to that scene. I want to
Okay.
circle back to that.
Which one?
The scene where she pops up in the Eldritch horror that is.
Oh, you mean when she's like she's fingering herself?
I mean, yeah, when she's slapping herself in her coochie, that's fine. But I'm
Is
mostly...
it? Is that fine?
It's fine.
It's a PG movie, sir.
It's a perfect representation of Rebel
Blah, blah, blah.
Rebel Wilson's career.
Worcestershire
Yeah,
Rebel Wilson.
Worcestershire sauce. But when James Corden came on the movie, I don't know. I didn't know the actor. Every time a new actor popped up on the screen, I was like, is that fucking Idris Elba?
We need to get to him too, but continue.
But when James Corden, I don't leave movies. I don't get up out of my seat. I piss. I get my concessions. I sit in the movie. I don't get up. I paid for the entire movie, therefore I'm watching the entire movie.
Damn right. I agree with you on that.
When James Corden comes popping his big ass up on screen, all looking like damn Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like
I was
Michael
going to
Myers
mention that. Totally Dr.
got
Seuss
up.
character.
I got up.
Do you know-
I got up and I said, Jonathan, I got to go to Slushy. And I talked to every person on my way out of that theater and in it.
You know what? I liked that song. I would like to hear it when it's not James Corden doing it.
I ignored it. And it was still going by the time I came in. I was gone for like
It
15
was a
minutes.
long ass song.
Well, and that's the thing. Like,
Every song in this movie goes on longer than it should, honestly.
yeah, and that's not the problem with the movie. That's like just inherent to the musical. Like a lot, especially the big numbers, are like 6 fucking minutes, which would be fine if it wasn't literally the same like verse chorus over and over.
Right.
I'm like, fuck off, Andrew Lloyd Webber. We fucking get it.
Yeah, I heard that one snippet of Memory in School of Rock, and I thought that was like a very small portion of the song, but that's like 75% of the fucking song. Because she just repeats it.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, though, Jennifer Hudson, swear to God, thought she was in Les Mis. Like,
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too. The whole time I'm like, this bitch trying to Anne Hathaway this shit,
Yeah.
and it is not working.
She is like...
snot coming out her nose. It's the
She
worst.
had boogers bubbling into her
bro,
mouth.
There were streams of mucus. It was
I mean,
horrible.
she was going for that Oscar, and
She
Like, I-
I've got to think that she was the only actor in this entire movie who thought this was going to be a great movie.
probably that lead. I feel so bad for that lead girl because she her career is fucking done.
Is she
Yeah.
like? Is this
this
like,
was first. This was her
okay?
first
'Cause
thing.
I didn't recognize her.
Yeah.
She's most known for being a dancer.
Yeah, she got that and introducing credit
Okay.
and departing credit. Like that's this is it.
So long.
She done.
Do you think this movie will end up being a cult classic in like 10
No,
years?
not at all.
Only in the way Plan 9 from Outer Space is a cult classic.
Yeah, or The Room.
Yeah, like it's people are only going to
Like,
enjoy
yeah,
it to shit on it.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is that like that's what I mean. Do you think it's even going to become that, or is this just going to be like
No.
$3 bin at
You know,
Walmart?
just from strength on the musical, I feel like this is going to be one of those because I just got out of it, and I could see putting it on with a group of friends and shit talking it, just going full Statler and Waldorf.
Well, let's say you're a 7-year-old girl. You've been taken to.
Well, I'm not, but continue.
Okay, just imagine for a second.
Go with them on this journey, Shimmy.
And you are going to see
fucking
this with your
imagination.
5-year-old sister. You're 7 years old, and your grandma is taking you at Christmas time to see Cats. This is now one of your favorite memories because grandma dies next year.
Sure.
How
I mean, that's
the-
pretty bleak, but sure.
Yeah, it's pretty bleak, but like. This is in the mind of the 7-year-old, and this is a sweet reminder of her last Christmas with
Oh,
grandma.
yeah, sure.
Now, I'm going to take the direct opposite take on that. I'm going to be thinking less of Grandma for exposing me to this
That's what I'm
horrible
thinking.
piece of shit right before she died. This is what I want you to remember me by. This horrible musical,
child, please come
freaking horrific
goodbye.
visual.
Do you remember Cats? Because I do.
Just put a pillow over her
Pull the
head.
plug on the life support.
I'll see you in hell, Grandma.
Speaking of that, as I said earlier before this started, this has not really soured me on the musical Cats, Broadway. It soured me on the idea of cats in general.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a cat in my life ever again.
Because if they're actually out there doing this shit, they all need to go. we need to do
I'm
something
afraid this is gonna lead to violence against cats on my part.
I don't thinking, okay, Frank, first of all.
So is cats like what happens when our backs are turned to the animals, like Toy Story is to like
Honestly,
God, I
things?
hope not.
When the
But
scale,
that would justify my hatred of cats.
when I wanted to walk out of the theater in that very first scene where the scale change happens of like everything, and she like throws the lady in the car throws the fucking pillowcase, and it suddenly becomes huge midair, and I'm like, this looks like really shitty Sentai.
Yeah.
Like that's what
they had
Don't
serious issues
drag
with the
Sensei's name
scale.
through the mud.
yeah, but it's like
I
really shitty Sentai.
Yeah, I was just saying that I can totally understand why she threw that freaking pillowcase out.
She was like, honey, this is not a fucking cat.
these things are fucked up. I need to get rid of this.
This is a furry baby. It needs to go in the trash.
Do you think maybe they live next to a power plant and the nuclear waste is corrupting some of these animals?
No, that's just New York in the 1920s, baby. That's the Aristocats.
I was also really disappointed we didn't get to see the dog that was barking at them because I wanted
I
to
was
see
waiting
some
for the
weird
human
ass
dog thing.
Yeah,
God.
I wanted to see fucking Gruff McGruff the crime dog or something.
So,
Yeah, that made me question what scenes were added to this from the musical. Surely that scene is not in the musical.
Not really. Most of the thing is with the musical, like it's one set, so it takes place in that one set area. Really, about the only things that were added were Rebel Wilson's horrible puns and James Corden's little snips here. and there.
Speaking of Rebel Wilson, I definitely was that scene of her dancing and then consuming her cockroach slaves. Was that a scene that was added? Or I mean, I know they don't have
I think the mice and the cockroaches have like a little dance number, but the fact that it's not like she grabs them and is like.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
That was disturbing as
I
hell.
did not enjoy my time with that particular moment, least of all.
I will say the cats, they look bad, but I feel like the mice look worse.
And the cockroaches looked worse than that.
Oh God, the cockroaches were horrifying.
Did look like Sentai gone bad.
It's just like Russian nesting dolls of the worst CG you can imagine, because I could watch the cats and just feel queasy and it'd be intolerable, but then seeing the mice, they were objectively wrong.
Yeah, the cats were uncomfortable to look at. The mice were really creepy to look at, and then the cockroaches were like, holy fuck.
Yeah, the cockroaches
Yeah.
were a crime against God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were horrible, and I didn't realize it was going to go that direction until they got to the point where they were like, Rebel Wilson was dancing, and then she opens the curtain, and the mice are just down there doing their little jig and playing their little song, and then she goes, "Look, dinner and a show," and I'm like, "Uh-oh, uh-oh." Yeah, no, that was really disturbing.
Well, and the entire quote plot of this thing is it's just a bunch of cats introducing themselves and pleading their case on why they're the one that needs to die.
Yeah.
I
That did strike me as
You should okay. So y'all,
slight.
I don't know if y'all know this, but whenever we did the AYCH awards, what we specifically did, Jonathan and I did, we were pretending that Cats was actually a fantastic movie, that it was a wonderful movie, and it had really dystopian undertones.
So you were lying to your
I
listeners.
was well. I mean, it became a joke. Of course, it played out as a joke. It was funny. We were mostly lying to our co-hosts, and
So your friends. Better than listeners, yes. Lying
and so
to
I had
your
to
friends.
I had to really dig deep to kind of find stuff that might be considered good, and I was like, if you analyze this is a great representation of the future dystopian methods that China might take. And I was pulling shit out of my ass.
So you turned into NPR for about 20
I
minutes.
did. I mean,
that's
I
excellent.
yeah, I was analyzing it to the point where I was just like, you know what? There are stark dystopian 1984 levels of death and control and a world where I was just going on and on and on, and I somehow related back to China. I don't remember how, but anyways,
You totally missed the Logan's Run reference with the whole.
Look, I can't get to everything. Cats is
It's so deep. It's
It's
so
so
much to
It's
mine.
it's a dense, like a
I-
good cake.
I will say, and I stand by this, 100% serious. There's about 20 minutes if you strip away the weird CGI and you just like you take Ian McKellen, just dress him up like a cat, like with real shit, and not a computer with Windows 98 on it. There's about 20 minutes of the movie that's genuinely entertaining. Like Ian McKellen's whole little song and dance thing, I was genuinely entertained. Now, nothing Judi Dench or Idris Elba did falls into that 20 minutes.
No.
They should be slapped.
Taylor Swift had a better performance than either of those two.
And she was awful.
She was bad.
So bad. Do you know how many Oscars were involved with this movie? How many Oscar winners?
Yeah, I was about to say
so many.
I think the biggest crime of this movie is just the talent that's involved in it. I'm like,
It was $95 million too.
yeah, and granted, like I don't like Tom Hooper anyway, but like,
Come on, the King's Speech was really good.
I like the King's Speech. Okay, it shouldn't have won Best Picture, but
I thought it did that year, but yeah, I'm biased. I really like Jeffrey Rush.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a great movie.
Versus
Yeah.
what was it going against? King's Speech versus who?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up while you're talking.
Well, how the shit do you know they should have won?
Well, he probably watched it at the time and formed that
Yeah,
opinion.
Me too. Yeah, I understand.
But we got like Idris Elba, Ian McKellen, Judi Dench, a bunch of other.
Jason Derulo.
Jason
we got
Derulo.
Jason Derulo. We got Taylor Swift.
Tap dancing Patrick.
Jennifer Hudson, Judi Dench.
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson.
Ian McKellen. They all won Oscars. Tom Hooper won an Oscar. There's at least 4.
Yeah, and I mean, and this isn't Tom Hooper's first rodeo at a musical either. He directed the Les Mis,
Which is why Jennifer Hudson thought she was in Les Mis. She thought she thought that the man that made movies in the gold was about to make her in the gold, and he literally just made a pile of dookie and was like,
All right. Here are the movies that King's Speech beat: 127 Hours,
No.
Black Swan.
I feel like that one was the one that people were upset not winning.
I didn't like it, but
I never
I'm
watched
not
it.
big on Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman literally broke her rib in that movie.
Cool.
Jenna out of
Viggo
her belly.
Mortensen broke his foot in Lord of the Rings. Who? Where's his Oscar? The Fighter.
Never even that.
What was the
Not even on my
Was
radar.
that the one with?
That was Marky Mark and
Yeah,
Christian
that.
Bale. Yeah.
Fuck that.
You know Marky
The
Mark's
Kids
in
Are
that.
All Right, which was that Mark Ruffalo movie. The Social Network.
Oh, was that 2010?
Yeah. Inception.
That was 2010.
Toy Story 3. True Grit. And Winter's Bone.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
King's Speech should have won.
Cause
Maybe Black Swan. I don't know, but I've heard it's really good. I have not seen any.
maybe like True Grit or
True Grit's good.
True Grit was good, but it wasn't that good. Like it was fine, but all they did was take a really good John Wayne movie and sort of Tarantino it up a little bit in terms of making it more realistic and
or Coing.
yeah, a little bit
Cohen-ing.
Cohen it up. Yeah, it's
Listen, I don't remember any movies past
Cats.
3 months ago.
That's Cats.
Actually, Cats. Cats
yeah,
is my life
Cats
marker
is it.
now. Everything's gonna be poster pre-Cats
Do you
now.
know? Do you know what's sad is that the past week I've seen 3 movies in theaters, and it was Rise of Skywalker, and then It's a Wonderful Life, because that's my favorite movie, and then Cats, and there has been a marked decline between 1 and 2, and then to 3.
It's just up and down.
Yeah, it's genuinely upsetting.
What a life, man! What a life.
Best.
Idris Elba was terrifyingly ripped.
And he was all the way naked in this movie.
Oh my God!
I just want to comment on his little ta-da!
Yeah, when he took off the coat.
the Taylor Swift song. You see him in the shadows in the little coat, and like, oh, okay, it's not bad. And then all of a sudden, naked Idris Elba.
Like I physically got ill during that scene.
When
I
he-
was like, ah!
His titty
That's
muscle.
exactly my response. Was
Yeah,
ah!
like the entire time, so many points. Everyone in the theater's laughing or cat.
Yeah, all
calling,
12
just-
of us in the
just
theater.
joking. Like, oh, that's terrible. Frank is sitting there stoic, just hating his life. But when he sees Idris Elba without that coat, he's like, "Oh fuck!" That's the only thing he said the entire movie.
I believe it.
Like, that's what got the
Oh my
reaction.
God.
There were actually like 12 people in y'all's screen.
Well, there
It
were
was all of us.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
No, there was a group of 4 that we didn't know.
Yeah, because there was 8
Yeah.
there was 8 in our group, right?
Oh my
Yeah,
God! Who
roughly.
the hell did y'all drag with you to see this movie? Good God, I feel bad for them. Apologize.
I would just like to say that I was one of the dragged, so I have no influence on anybody who came to see
I would
it
just
with
like
us.
to say that my roommate works at the theater, and I did not pay to see this film.
I had a gift card.
Yeah,
We
I got
Fist
stuck
bump,
to the
Pat.
page.
Fist bump. There we go.
I hate both of you.
we
We
both
came
paid
prepared,
full
right?
price.
Jonathan, quit sucking on the mic.
Hey, stop it! That only belongs in cats.
Oh God.
Also, what the hell is up with the roofying of the cats?
Yeah,
with
that
the cat.
drug-fueled orgy scene.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
something out of Motley Crue.
And the
or
magic.
Walk Hard.
And the magic.
Like
Yeah, how
Idris
the
Elba
fuck are
had
they
like
doing magic?
weird. What I thought was funny is like at the climax stage, like they flipped the script on Idris Elba, and it's like, oh, I got one more trick up my sleeve, and he disappears with Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift's just gone. She doesn't reappear.
Yeah, she
like-
never shows back up. I noticed that too. It's like she's like, "Come with me," and then where'd she fucking go? She gone.
They didn't mocap them, I think, is what the big problem was, right? Was that they didn't.
I thought they did mocap them.
From my understanding, it was the reason why their faces were floating all over the place and not like sticking to one spot on their body.
Like when their heads would turn, like their faces wouldn't
Yeah.
completely turn.
Like that part, it was fucky. It was real fucky.
I think it was because they were like, oh no, we don't need a mocap.
The fuck did they spend all that money on then?
Well, see, this is my entire
I think
problem.
probably paying for the actors.
This
Well,
is
they
really
need to
my
get their
entire
money back.
problem with the movie is the thing about a musical, especially a dance musical, is the choreography and watching the performance of the actual dancers and singers. And with the CGI, all of that was removed. So there was no actual dancing or performance that you could go, oh, that was really, that was really gifted. That was really talented. The way they moved, the way they did. It's not them. It's the freaking CGI.
And so many
Yeah.
times it felt like when they were dancing, you would like the actor would do a move, and then the cat would be like a split second behind it.
Yeah.
It was real floaty.
Yeah, it adds this weird veneer of artificiality where it's
Exactly.
Mr.
That's
fancy
why
$5 words.
Yeah.
I would not. I 100% would not be surprised if they came out like 6 months from now and be like, "Gotcha, bitch." That whole thing was created by like some sort of artificial like fucking took.
They're gonna like.
You know what I'm saying?
You trying to
Yeah.
tell me they're gonna Sonic the Hedgehog this bitch and be like, sorry, we're good.
no, they are. They're literally about to pull
no.
it from theaters and redo like a lot of the.
I think they're just gonna pull it, and yeah, home video may be better, but it's too little, too late.
But like, if they do pull it, they should just put it straight to Netflix or something, because that would be like the highest grossing, like highest watched streaming thing ever.
it would
Because
be.
everybody's heard the bullshit about the movie. They're gonna fucking watch it for free on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
or Hulu.
or it will probably like spike for just that the first day
Yeah.
it's on there and then
Like
just
the
Yeah.
first
drop.
weekend.
And everyone's gonna watch only half of it and be like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're
let's
like,
watch Bird Box or something."
oh my
And
god.
Cody, I think you're right. I think it's going to come out that all of these actors were in, like they Skyped their performance in, sitting in their living rooms, and then it was just
Yeah.
floated on to the weird
that
CG
would not
cats.
shock me at all.
I would be totally unsurprised.
They'd have a bunch of people from Cirque du Soleil. They just had the full Zentai suits. They're just wiggling around. They just like put Judi Dench's head, just trying to fucking track it.
My hope with that would be that Jason Derulo showed up to set, and he was the only one who showed up. He's like, "Where the fuck is everybody?
He's just wearing a snuggie. He's like,
Hey, who broke into our set? Who is that? Jason Derulo."
"What you say?"
And he just sadly walks off.
Oh, there's
Jason
a-
Derulo.
There's a great bit with Jason, like when the top hat magic cat's trying to magic Judi Dench back into her cat bed. Like they're all singing like, "Oh, this is a tender moment," and he's like making like random warbling noises in the background. And then when he's doing his weird like milk / cum drip scene in the diner, like
Accurate description.
like he's capping off his song, but he keeps over singing each word until it just extends the song artificially, and then he he slaps
Like
a bitch. And
those
then
weren't
runs off.
runs; those were sprints. That's the fuck he was doing. Like,
See,
it was.
And that's the thing. It's just like there's a lot about this. It's just like it just doesn't seem. Everything just feels wrong.
Like, every decision they made was the wrong
Like
decision.
it's not just bad. It all just feels wrong. How can a person who went from King's Speech to Les Mis, both are considered to be like some of the best things of this decade, suddenly pop out and produce this bullshit?
Direct this bullshit.
What went wrong? Who went wrong?
If I had to make a guess, it was probably they got to a certain point, realized, oh wow, this is bad, but we've sunk too much money, too much time into this to give up. So we're just like, full steam ahead, Captain.
Hell, there's Cats fans out there. They'll go to see it in theater.
Well, it's made like no money. The first weekend in theaters, it made just shy of $11 million worldwide, which is less than Frozen 2's fifth week take. Domestic. Frozen 2 made $12 million in America on its fifth week. Cats made $11 million first weekend across the world. No one's seeing this shit except for us.
Like,
We all went
literally,
to the
The lucky few.
when me and Cody went to see it, there was the only people in the theater was this couple, and when we come out, apparently someone they knew worked at the theater. They run up to him and was like, "Why the fuck did you let us watch this?"
They literally they were like maybe they were like in their 60s, 70s.
Yeah, like probably like 50.
They were out on a Saturday night at 10:30 at
Ruin
night.
their weekend.
I was embarrassed to go buy the ticket.
Yeah,
What? Yeah,
I was like, is anybody behind me watching me?
Frank
Is
has
anybody
like-
going to hear me say I want one for Cats?
Frank has like a trench coat, a hat, and like
Yeah,
sunglasses.
Cody was when he
I'm
gets
mumbling through the little speaker. I'm like, Cats.
when he gets up to he's like, "Can I get one for Cats?"
and the lady looked at me like, "What the fuck? Why is he like that?" I was like, I told her, I was like, I really don't want to see this movie.
I totally expected the guy behind the counter go, really? You don't mean
Are you
something
sure?
else?
Are
Are
you
you
sure?
sure you want to see Cats?
It's like, sir, are you in trouble? Blink twice for yes.
If he had asked me, "Are you sure you want to see Cats?" I was like, "No, I'm positive I don't want to see Cats."
Sir,
However, my very good friend Justin
You're welcome.
has got me to agree to go see Cats with him.
I'm doing this for my friends here at AYCH for their content.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. We thank you for your.
You should have just said Tom Hooper was putting you up to it.
Yeah. Thanks, Jonathan, for ruining the podcast. I'm gonna start
Sweet,
all
bro.
over.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, Idris is my uncle, so I really feel obligated to go and you support his career.
For those of you who can't see Frank, he is white as the driven snow.
And from Alabama, Jason Derulo. Don't get me wrong. I think it's from the UK. So
You mean Idris Elba?
Idris Elba,
Yeah.
not
And
Jason Derulo. You know what, Frank? Maybe you are
Not
related.
I couldn't understand your accent. Not who?
Jason Derulo. Make you feel better.
Yes, it does. Thank you. That's a fun gag.
What was just a fun fact, the kiosk inside of the theater, it also you can also order tickets there and will automatically take off discounts for the $5 Tuesdays as well.
Does it flash warnings?
It doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't know.
One for cats. Really?
So
You sure?
if you're out there listening to this,
We are
and
calling emergency professionals because you obviously have had a stroke.
if you're out there and you're still wanting to go see Cats after listening to this podcast, what I'd like you to do is spend the extra money and go on Fandango and get the tickets there, so you don't embarrass yourself at the kiosk.
Seriously.
It's worth the $3 extra.
Tell you what, I have something that I've saved these for the past 2 weeks, and I would love to share them with you. They are some of my favorite reviews for Cats.
Oh, they have been savage.
Yeah, the first night it was out, these are some of the reviews. I would like to share these. Alan Core writes, first off, full disclosure, I am not a cat person. Second off, after watching this frankly mortifying film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, I'm not altogether sure I am a movie person anymore either. The Beat writes, Cats is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs. This was a Reddit review. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is what death feels like. This is the worst ketamine trip. This is awful. This is not a film, this is chaos. This is the CGI from Scorpion King. I don't know if I'm 5 minutes in or 5 hours. Nothing matters anymore. This is the death of all things. Fuck it.
This is the death of cinema. I would agree.
Kyle Buchanan writes on Twitter, watching Cats is like stumbling upon an unholy and heretofore unknown genre of porn. Every time these horny fur demons tongue a milk bowl and start moaning, I was certain the FBI would raid the theater. And twilies.com, this is my favorite review. I felt the light inside me slowly fading.
I was losing my hope in
Was
this
that
movie.
before or
I
after
really
the
was.
cat started wiggling his tails about to spray piss out of their asshole?
Oh my God! The little choreographed session in their quote ball, where
yeah.
they're all on all fours and their little tails are quivering.
That's where our
That was
theater...
really sexual.
Every freaking person laughed,
Yeah.
except for me, because I was just horrified by the whole.
That's where our
spectacle.
theater broke.
They're
Like,
gonna spray. They're gonna spray. Get the water bottle. Get the water bottle.
we had been, everyone in the theater had been trying to remain calm. We giggled here and there, but that's where we fucking broke. That's like,
Oh man,
fuck is
I
this?
broke like 15 minutes in when Rebel Wilson was spread eagle scratching her cootie.
Oh, it's terrible. Like, about that point with the weird cat hissing, I looked at my phone because I was sending Liz Snapchats every so often of the weirdest looking shit, and I realized that for the last hour and a half of this movie, it had only taken 45 minutes, and that we had another hour and 15 minutes of the movie, and I was thoroughly disheartened.
It was like it wouldn't end. It was like after Jennifer Hudson goes to hell or heaven, whatever. Judi
Just
Dench
trapped
is
in
like
a blimp.
Judi Dench is like, okay, there's time for another song, and you're like, Judi Dench, shut the
Let's
fuck
talk
up.
to you, the audience.
Yeah,
Looking dead
like
ass
this
down
fucking-
there on
oh
the
my
camera.
God.
This cowardly lion looking ass is like staring straight in my soul. Like, it's not enough that I've just watched your stupid movies. Quit looking at me.
And you could tell she's like really getting on up there in age. She's kind of got a cat limp to her. They got her laying down most of the movie.
Do you think
and when she does her like little scissor legs at one
that
point,
was so upsetting?
Oh, God.
I hated that.
Just the last
You know that's a
song,
stunt leg.
the close up on Judy with the fucked up English teeth. I
That
could
was
have
rough.
done without that whole thing.
Do you think she has a handler?
Pan the fuck back, please.
Like, do you think she has a handler that led her to the set? Like, no, Judy, here, just read these lines. It was like, was it a Stan Lee situation?
I think so. And she's just like, I wore my cat suit for this. and she just
like-
like comes in like
No,
a
she brought that.
snuggie. Yeah.
She
brought
wasn't
that fur coat
CGI
from home.
or in costume. Just like that's just from home.
Yeah, that's her homemade cat suit. She's been like, I've been preparing.
Like, you
myself.
feel like Ian McKellen was the only one in the movie who realized the fuck was going on.
Oh,
He's like, I'm
he-
gonna have fun with this.
he is on a total another level. That's just fucking amazing.
I just really hope to God he doesn't die. I just really hope to God this isn't his last and final film.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of fantastic actors who have been, like, their final films are things that aren't considered so great that become cult classics. For example, my favorite terrible movie was Raul Julia's last film, and I love Raul Julia.
How do you know these people?
I just know them. But no, his last film, again, one of my favorites. I own the
If it
Blu-ray.
helps, Cody, he was
It's
Adam's
19
Family.
Gomez.
Have
Yeah,
you
he was
never
Adam's
seen
Family.
the Adams Family movie?
Anyway, his
Yes, I think
last
I have.
movie
That's Julia.
was 1994's Street Fighter
That
with
is
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, was he? Was
That
he
is
in
an
Bison?
absolute classic.
He was
right
Bison.
there.
And yeah,
Fuck.
and he actually took the role because his kids loved Street Fighter. He wanted to be in
That's
something
sweet.
they
And
could
he
watch.
was awesome in that. He
was
played it
amazing.
up like Bison. He
Oh,
was
so
totally
good.
in, like all in.
It was so
Do you
good.
think Ian McKellen took this role because his kids love cats?
I think he probably took it because he loves cats. I mean, it's Ian McKellen.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Do you think any of the like Jason Derulo or Taylor Swift watch Cats?
I think they thought this was going to be their Star is Born moment, and they
Yeah.
are very sorely mistaken. Like, I don't care about those two. They suck. They whatever. They got 48 Grammys that they don't deserve, and they can't sing.
I
or dance.
can't. But like it's just it just I don't like the cast didn't make sense either. Like it just didn't make sense.
Ian McKellen makes sense.
Ian McKellen,
And,
sure.
and that's casting an unknown as the lead, who barely talks
Yeah,
and ruining someone's career before it starts. That makes sense.
And on paper, I'm not against Jennifer Hudson in this movie.
Yeah, sure. She would. There was a preview for her as Aretha Franklin before the movie
oh,
showed.
yeah.
That looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Like of everyone, Jennifer Hudson fits the best, and then Ian McKellen second, and then after that, it gets real fucking weird.
They were throwing darts at a cast wall.
Yeah.
Someone really should have given her a tissue, though.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah, that was so
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
And the thing is that song's already melodramatic already, but then she takes the knob, doesn't just turn it to 11, she breaks that motherfucker.
Yeah, it was
And it's just like,
Everyone's just like, we didn't go
like
this hard.
every choice she made was wrong, and Tom Hooper was wrong for letting her make them.
Like I said, I think she is the only one in this entire movie who did not realize, number one, it's silly as fuck because you're cats,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be an Oscar buzz.
You know,
She
she
was
thought it Oscar.
totally, I'm getting my second Oscar.
speaking of it being silly, what was everyone's favorite names of the cats? Because
Do you remember any of them?
I remember Rum Tum Tugger because Jason Derulo said it like 48 goddamn times.
yeah,
That's Jonathan's favorite.
that's one of them.
I also like the fucking Mungo Jerry.
Mongo Jerry and Rumpelteazer.
Isn't it the name of a 70s band?
Mungo Jerry?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm
Probably.
pretty sure it is.
What the hell is what kind of cats are they? Jellicle?
They're jellicle cats.
Is that like a word?
Isn't that the
I don't
shoe
know.
insert?
Ask T.S. Eliot.
It's a word like Mixia is a word.
Oh, I want to go home. I am.
Wait a minute.
I am home, but I want to go to bed. or
Yeah,
something.
no. Mungo Jerry was a British rock band.
Rumpelteazer.
Yeah, the group's name was inspired by the poem that inspired cats. Yeah, T.S. Eliot.
Yeah, because T.S. Eliot wrote this is based off of a book of children's poems by T.S. Eliot.
You know, I hated him enough already. I didn't need this help.
Come on, Justin. You're not a fan of the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock?
No.
I don't know.
The Wasteland?
I thought venting about this movie would make me feel better about
No.
it. Or make me feel better in general. But honestly, I think it may have just ruined my weekend.
Well, if you want to go even further, you know what you could do? If you have Hulu or the FX channel, you should check out their version of A Christmas Carol that they're showing from the BBC starring Guy Pearce, because it's fucking awful and I hate everything about it.
Oh, this was the one you were watching when
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Scrooge was not only abused as a kid in this one by a school teacher, and I don't mean like backhanded, I mean like fucked. He was he was fucked.
Oh, no.
Even better, they turned Scrooge into a sexual predator himself.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's pretty deeply, disturbingly upsetting, and it pissed me off. Do you know, I didn't think anything would make me appreciate the 2009 Jim Carrey horror show, but I watched that the next day, and I'm like, you know what? This has a lot of merit. So yeah, go watch that 3-hour horror show. And I don't mean like good horror. I mean, this is the Zack Snyder version of A Christmas Carol. The fuck this is. And fuck it.
Just a little side note on there. We could do like a whole like Patreon special episode where he could just go in depth about his displeasure about the FX Guy Pearce.
Look, you bring that recorder, I will talk about A Christmas Carol for an hour and why Guy Pearce's version should be taken out back and shot. Like, I have so many angry feelings on that, and I have vented them 9 times to 9 different people, and I'm still just as pissed.
It's hard to, like... I don't even know, man.
The movie is so infuriating; it makes us mad about other movies we've seen.
I'm heated right now.
Well, I think most of us have that movie that it's either a remake or a sequel to something we love, or about a subject or a book or something like that we loved, and it's so horrible it makes us so furious we want to punch something. In my case, relatively recently, it was the second Ghost Rider movie, because I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan. I enjoyed the first Ghost Rider movie. It's campy and silly. However, I enjoyed it. The second one makes me want to find whoever's responsible and kick them in the nuts. It really does.
I will say that is my second least favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
Second least favorite.
Left Behind.
Yes.
Nice preview for a future episode.
Stay tuned to find out.
We will. We are ready to. All right, are we ready to wrap this fucking thing up?
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
50 minutes into this, so
Sure.
I feel like I'm done talking about cats. So
I mean,
Pat,
we're still going to talk about it, but it's just not on audio. And I'm going to talk about this shit for a while, I think.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to give Justin dirty looks whenever it's mentioned.
we should get you a cats poster. You should see if you can get a cats poster for the shop.
I'd hang it up. Fuck it.
Why not?
Have it all aside and just say, fuck this movie.
Yeah, just get everyone who saw it to sign it. I like it.
That'd be
No
a good
cats
bit.
allowed.
I'll talk to Dylan. He might have the cat's poster. I don't think anybody wants that shit. I'll ask him when I get home.
Nobody is going to be coming into that theater. Hey, do you have any promotional cat stuff that I can take
Like,
on?
none of those employees are going to want it. I think it's going to sit there. So, yeah. That's a good plan, actually.
Yeah, I was actually thinking as we were walking out, because they had that huge Star Wars cardboard thing on the wall. I was like, somebody's going to want to take that home, and it's like 20 foot long.
It's
and
gonna
they're going to have to, you know.
It's gonna sit in some nerds like living room.
Yeah,
and it's
some
gonna be
nerd's living room.
Yep.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Pat, lead us out. I'm done with this. Also, did y'all see the little tap dancing cat, the railroad cat? What's his name?
Yeah, railroad cat.
Swear to God, when I first saw it, because you could just see it was basically just a red blur. Thought it was Pat half naked tap dancing.
Oh, that's funny.
Honestly, but
See, for a bit, I thought that was former country singer Billy Gilman. I still haven't looked up to see who that was.
Will you start looking at my
I don't
IMDb
know,
page?
I don't know, but Pat, that's totally his next Halloween costume, I think.
I got to work in my chest.
he's actually he was just a dancer because I was looking up too because he looked familiar to me. I thought he was like Seth Green or some shit. I was like, no, they didn't. I pulled out my phone and everything, trying to look it up. Oh God, that movie! I don't pull out my phone. I pulled out my phone a lot for that movie. Just started scrolling. Anyways, Pat.
All right. Wrapping it up for real this time. Thank you all for listening to this very special first edition of the Unessential Viewing series. Trust us, there'll be more to follow. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at AYCH Podcast. You can follow us on Redbox at All You Can Hear. Excuse me, not Redbox, Letterboxd, excuse me.
Waka Waka.
And you can follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Overcast, Spotify, any RSS feed catchers. We'll be there. Be sure to rate, like, review, subscribe, 5 stars and everything. That help us be seen and heard. And you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/allyoucanhear, where we can stream video games. You can watch any stream that we've done in the past on YouTube at All You Can Hear in perpetuity. That's where all our VODs live. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at excuse me. It's 1 a.m. in the morning and
1:21.
I'm having a stroke. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at John Lost His Name. Follow my art on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art.
My name is Cody. You can follow me at CODDOC11. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd.
My name is Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at John Odinson 12.
I'm Justin. I'm the most prolific guest on AYCH. You all love me. You think I'm great. You can follow me. Pretty much if you find Captain Shimmy online, that's going to be me. Or at the comic strip in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 505 Hargrove Road East, Suite 10. Come buy something.
They are fantastic.
This is Frank. I really don't want you to follow me. It makes me paranoid.
Yeah, all right, Frank.
That's
thank
fair.
you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All you jellicle cats.